620. For those of you that didn't hear me, we're going to go ahead and call to order the Board of Directors meeting. Tonight is the election/budget meeting. We're here in the open auditorium, and the time is 6:21. Present and constituting the quorum, we have to my right Dennis Foreman, Jason Meadows, Alice Williams, Bobby Williams, Brenda Wentz, Headley Oliver, John Degatano, and Jimmy Wentz on camera. Absent, we have Ralph Martinez. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take care of, and this is something that we should have set up, we should do this every year. We take care of the regular meeting first. In this case, it's going to be the budget meeting before we do a change of the guard. So, let the old regime take care of the new business before, or the old business before the new regime comes in. So we have a treasurer's report. And I swear I wrote it down, and I swear I printed it. Okay. No, I have all that. I just had a separate report that I made up. All right, so if I remember right, there's roughly $2,000 or $2,200 in our account. At this present time, all of our bills are paid. I have this sheet right here that you guys can look at that gives you what was budgeted, what we actually spent, and whether we're over or under. So I really dropped the ball on this because I had added some office supplies. Yeah, I added some office supplies, and that changed the total just a little bit, but in respect to the numbers that you see, I made a change. I didn't save it, and I printed it without saving it, so I'm not really good. So we budgeted $5,550. And the actual, it says here is $5,147.58, but it's closer to $5,550. It's like $100 off of the projected. So, but on top of all of that, I'm sorry, what's that? It was off by 100, means we're under budget by 100. It was like $96 or something. In any case, so we have money in the account, all of our bills are paid. I had a really nice report. Maybe I gave it to you guys.
Yes, that's right.
But in any case, there's 12 residents that owe us money, and we took in, it was right around an additional $6,000 in, they were split up between fines, fees, and estoppel fees. I know you guys are aware of this, but I'll say it anyway. Anytime somebody moves out of this neighborhood, the closing agent requests an estoppel, and all that is just a request for information whether that home owes us money or not. And then if they do, then we get paid when the house sells after closing. We charge, the max amount we can charge for that is $250, so says statute 720, so that's what we charge. Typically, we provide same-day service, and they kind of like that because a lot of HOAs don't. And I think that is about it for the budget report, or sorry, for the treasurer's report. Next up, we have the ACC report, and that will be delivered by Ms. Brenda.
Since our last meeting,
blocking the sideways, trash cans being left in the street on non-trash days, and bulk trash and yard waste being placed on the curb on non-trash days. Again, some of that may be we just went through 2 hurricanes, so people putting stuff on the curb, may be expected. The reasons are the most concerning. The reason these are the most concerning is because they create a safety issue for the community as far as emergency response vehicles being able to get through the streets. Creates congestion on the already small roads, and blocking the sidewalks creates a safety issue for our school children, those that walk their pets, and those that jog or seem to be in the roads, creating again another safety issue. Other more frequent violations are tree maintenance, and lately there's been quite a few unauthorized alterations, varying anywhere from structures, contractor realtor signs, house painting, security cameras, lighting, landscape changes, and pavers. That is the ACC.
Great job. Hey, so I found it. So as of November 21st, 2022, actually to go back to the treasurer's report, I apologize for that. We have $2,760.30 in the bank. All of our bills are paid for the year. We have 12 homeowners that hold fines for a total of $1,360. We have collected $3,299 for estoppel fees, $2,130 in fines, $675 in late fees for a total of $6,104. We have spent a total of $6,030 on non-budget items, including refreshments for the meetings, condolence arrangements, laptops, toner for the laser printer, and new supply letters. Those are all not part of the budget that we just use because we have to spend that by the end of the year anyway. So we just get stuff that benefits the community and everything else. Hopefully we get a new treasurer with this changeover, and that person can do that. So what we're gonna do with this is, I'm not sure where the legality lies in this, so we're gonna adjourn this meeting and then open up the election meeting. So I'm looking for a motion to adjourn the regular budget meeting.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn the budget meeting.
I second it.
Hold that thought 1 minute.
I take it back.
So I was really organized coming in here and I don't know what happened. Since this is a budget meeting, I have a proposed budget. And the proposed budget is pretty much the same as the old budget, and it is on this form right here. The bottom line is we don't need to raise our HOA fees at all. $25 is definitely more than enough to pay for everything that we do in this community. So our Sundays annual reporting, it's $70 set aside for that. Our web portal, $740, that's gone up a little bit over the years. Our liability insurance has gone up to $1,266. I have $600 set aside for the meeting venue, and that's gonna stay at $600 unless we need that to compensate for other things. But all that means is that we can have, the goal was a meeting a month, but if this is more than $100 a month, then we'll have to do every other month, whatever. We'll play with that $600 for the meeting venue. Postage and delivery, we have $1,101. The HOA phone stays at $150 a year. Our post office box went up to $198 for that little tiny box a year. Tax preparation went up to $875. They used to charge us only $500 for that, but now it charges us $875. Office supplies we have at $550 for a total of $5,550. So there's no need to raise any HOA fees with this budget. So that being said, I'm looking for, and I should have put this on the agenda too. Again, my bad, I apologize. So I'm looking for a motion to adopt this budget for the 2020.
Make a motion, we adopt the budget as read.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries.
That's 60 days.
And now I'm looking for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn the budget meeting.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. This meeting is adjourned at 6:30. Okay, welcome everybody to the Highland Meadows Homeowners Association election meeting. It's November 21st, 2022, the time is 6:30. I call this meeting to order. In attendance, we have Dennis Foreman, Jason Meadows, Alice Williams, Bobby Williams, Brenda Wentz, Hedley Oliver, John Degatano, Jimmy Wentz. Well, I can't follow with the agenda tonight, can
Who wrote it?
I? I did, right? Hastily, I might add. A lot of time. So skip line item A under new business because we already did that. Line item B is all candidates running for a seat on the board to introduce themselves. Now, we've all done this several times, and I'm gonna leave it up to you guys whether you wanna introduce yourself or not. So if you want to, starting with Dennis, you can stand up and introduce yourself and tell us why you want to be on the board, or you can pass. It's totally up to you.
Dennis Foreman, I've lived there since 2013. Reason I'm gonna be on the board is to keep the community looking nice and keep our property values up.
Great job.
My name is Jason Meadows. I'm implementing this at the beginning, 2013, and I've been in the board since the beginning. And just keep helping the community.
Before we get to me, I want to make an announcement and say that Alice Williams is not running this year. However, I want the records to show that she has returned the all of the HOA equipment that was issued to her for her to perform her job as the treasurer.
Can I add something to that?
Yep.
Thank you, Alice, because the meeting that we did that you first signed up was all about not leaving me the only female on this board. So thank you for joining me and for your service.
I thought that was sincere, thank you. Awesome. So, my name is Bobby Williams. I've been on this board since the very beginning, just like Jason, just like Dennis. So we want to continue to do the same job that we do and make sure that, our homes increase in value and everybody's happy, hopefully, most people, some people happy.
Brenda Wynn's been on the board about 30 years, maybe 4, feels like 40. I really enjoy meeting the neighbors. I've met quite a few people. I enjoy interacting. I have experience in customer service / marketing research, and so I can interact very easily. And I enjoy doing it. So I like the community. I'm here also to help with my investment, owning a home, and again to keep all of us together as a team, or a good working team, to help keep the value up for the home, for the community. Normally you have to say that before me.
But basically, Oliver, I've been at the board, I think, 4+ years. Yeah, around that time. So basically, I hate to repeat the amazing members' presentation. So I'll just say, I echo the same thing, but most importantly, a community should be like a family. And I think our team here actually operates as a family. And I do enjoy working with the members. I do love my community, and I intend to spend a very long time in the community. So that's the reason I'm choosing to continue to be on the board based on votes. Yeah. And I'm a community guy. I like to travel around the community to see the community maintenance, homes looking beautiful. So those two over there back there. I love the color of the paint.
John?
John DeCaro, been with this group for quite some time, and I guess I'm the comic relief in here for most of the people. I really enjoy the community, and I figure, everybody has to do their part, so I do it best I can, helping out where I can. So that's it, that's why I like being on the board, so I can just give a hand where it's needed.
Thank you, Jim.
Take the floor.
I'm James Wentz, other than that, nicknamed by Jimmy. I've been on the board for about 2 years, been helping out on the ACC committee, which I like doing that. Also, I like helping with going into the community where people need some help or something as plumbing wise, I've helped with irrigation on some people, trimming trees, putting up stuff that need help. I have no problem with that to help make the community look even better, keep our property values up. And I'll keep on doing it. I like to do it.
Thank you. John?
Let's see, I'm Johnny Nix, I was on the board before, I was the secretary, but I had to leave a little bit for absence for a little bit. I had a little bit of dance problem and stuff like that. So I'm coming back to be back on the board again and do full force.
Well, I'm Juliana. I've been living in the community since 2014. I've been part of the welcoming team for the HOA. So I will go to the new homeowners and give them the welcome package. Now I'm running for whatever position, I guess it's treasury. I've been in the banking industry for the last 15 years, so hopefully that will help me out on that. And I'm just trying to be part of this amazing board members and make the best of our community.
Thank you. So, I'm gonna leave this up to the audience. There's 9 members running for 9 positions, unless anybody else wants to run and make it an election. Then I don't see any reason to fill out ballots. The results are gonna be the same no matter what, right? So, if everybody agrees, then we'll just, this is, like I was saying earlier, we kind of don't have to form anyway, and it's supposed to be, nothing changes or whatever, but we have changes that we have to address regardless. I think this is the best way to do it, right? Just have everybody that is here now that wants to be part of that board. Okay, and let's give a nice round of applause to the new. But we're not done yet, because we have to nominate, the board has to nominate within itself, president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. So right now I'm looking for a nomination for president.
I nominate Bobby Williams.
I'll second that.
We got like 3
We have 3
seconds
seconds.
here. We like you right where you are.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
I nominate Brenda for vice president.
I will second that.
Anybody
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, now I need a nomination for secretary.
Vivian.
So here's the thing. The secretary and treasurer position can be separate or they can be together, and those are the only 2 on the board that can really interchange like that. So if nobody wants to step up as the secretary, then it falls on whoever wants to step up as the treasurer. Now, duties of the secretary, Alice, you want to fill them in on what your duties have been this last year?
Well, for the secretary position, I've taken the notes of the meeting. They'll be emailed to our email. And just do the monthly, or whenever we have a meeting. We just write up the meeting. And also, but it's not under secretary, I think website.
Facebook.
Facebook.
And she does a great job on Facebook.
Oh, everybody else is younger, they want to do that
Well,
too. But I'm gonna say this, it's really been a real pleasure. And I don't plan to be present at the.
Is there anybody else up
I just have some personal issues that, you know, are kind of preventing me from continuing right now. But it's a real joy. I love being a transplant from Michigan here, so it's been a real pleasure working on the board. Everybody's been, super friendly and nice, and, I really love the community, so.
thank you, Alice. Thank you for the time that you spent with us, all the sacrifices that you made, and the great job that you did as the secretary. We will miss you, for sure.
I'll still call you.
You'll still call me.
I will call you just as much as I can.
Okay.
You'll be expected at every meeting too.
That's what she just said.
You did say that?
Yep.
Good, good. That'll be one more person.
Okay, so we need a secretary. Looking for. Anybody want to nominate secretary? What about a treasurer? Anybody want to nominate a treasurer?
I nominate Viviana.
Diana, do you accept the nomination as treasurer?
Yes, sir.
Viviana, would you accept the dual role of treasurer and secretary?
I do have my full-time job. I work in Tampa, so I'm always all over the place. Of course, I'm a full-time mom as well. It's gonna be rough for me to.
I would rather you say, no, you don't have time to do it. You're not gonna hurt anybody's
I'm so
feelings.
sorry.
That's okay. But before you say yes to the treasurer, I'll
Yes,
tell you
that
that
one, yes.
that it is kind of a demanding position, especially at the first of the year, when all of the checks start coming in, right? So I'll help out as much as I can with that, to get your feet wet if you want, but I just want, like, it's a busy time for us, so. that's it. Okay. I wanted to make sure that did we have a second? I know that she accepted. Okay. All right, then, all in favor of Viviana being the treasurer?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Viviana. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. So, we'll figure out who takes the notes. And we'll figure that part out. Thank you. This is the biggest thing. Okay. I moved category 5 to the very bottom and made it category 7 for the good of the community. And what this is something that I'm going to start putting in every agenda. For the good of the community is just a forum for us to talk about anything that we want. We're going to start off with the board members, and then we'll move on to the audience members. So, first off, why don't you guys come and take a seat up here, since you're part of the board now. Should have said that last. You guys aren't getting my A tonight, I apologize. So, I do actually. Yeah. So the first thing that I want to do for the good of the community, and Haley, is it okay to talk about what you talked about earlier? Okay. I just wanted a moment of silence for Hedley's brother, who recently passed away. Thank you all. Any other board members have anything else for the good of the community? Well, audience members, you guys get anything?
What is that for now? What is the good of the community?
So for the good of the community, it can be anything you wanna talk about. If you have anything on your mind, if you have anything, it doesn't have to be agenda related, it's anything you wanna talk
I
about.
guess I question, when people do stuff at their homes, they have to get permission.
Yes.
And I guess I wonder if permission is being granted for things that they're getting done.
Are we talking about one specific house in particular?
Yes.
Then I can tell you that, some work was done that was not authorized. And we have, procedures that go on to take care of that. The HOAs have, an incredible amount of power and can force the homeowner to do a lot of things, which is not where we really wanna be, I don't think. It's better not to make enemies with our neighbors.
But he's an idiot to everybody.
And understood, a lot of times what I've come to realize, and Heavy, you can back up on this, that a lot of times it's perception of the person who's acting out. And sometimes when you change that perception, then you change that person's, manners, or you change that person's actions. So, let us try to figure this out the best way we can. It's not the first time that we've had this happen in this community, and we've always persevered. We've always come up with a way
He
to,
seriously is mean to everyone in the neighborhood.
understood, yeah.
And when you, my biggest thing was, and this has nothing to do with anything, but with him with that trailer, and he had it there for 3 and 4 days, he told us, nobody said anything to him, but him sitting it there for 3, 4 days in a row, and we get in trouble for other things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my main
So,
thing.
For minor.
And I
For
think
minor,
a
and
lot
that's
of,
okay, I understand that, I understand it, but him, the day that I had the worst day with trailers backwards and all kinds of stuff, it was my fault, I hit a trailer. But when I went up down the street, and he saw that happen, that trailer had gone in 5 seconds. He had it gone just like that. It's just, he's so rude to everybody, he's a drunk, I hate to say that, but he's hateful to everybody on our street. And nobody is mean to him at all, nothing. And I'm honest, we don't cause problems, we take care of his dog, we try to do stuff to make sure it's okay. Because this woman has to deal with the dog every single weekend, digging underneath and doing all kinds of stuff. And she won't call the pound, because that's the type of woman this woman is, she won't do it.
I mean, I'm a dog owner
I know
myself,
that, yes.
and I know that I probably wouldn't call the pound either. I would try to figure out a different way. I understand that this is a problem, especially for that side of the neighborhood, so let's try to work this out.
Okay.
I have a plan of action.
I'm not, we've dealt with it for years, but, and no one said anything, no one's done anything, and it's just he just thinks he's it, and he doesn't have to play by the
It's
rules.
good.
Yes,
The
very
things
bad.
that he's doing, I mean, the whole backyard is covered,
Yeah, I saw that.
okay? I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. But why a person puts concrete in the whole backyard? It just makes no sense.
I always say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
And it's true in a lot of cases. So,
Well, that's, that's,
But I just wondered with everything, we gotta know what kind of bushes we put in, and we do this and we do
yeah.
that. We have to have permission for
I understand
everything.
though that everybody is held to the same standards, right? So what happens is, and this is very common, what happens is you'll get a letter for something that takes 2 seconds to fix, and then you see that stuff going on, and then you assume that they're not getting letters because the behavior continues, when in actuality, they're getting letters
Well, I
and
understand
letters.
they are, I know
And
that,
the
yes.
behavior continues. We're limited to, we can't go any stronger, right? We can hire a contractor to take out what they put in. I don't think we wanna go that
I
route.
understand that.
You know what I mean?
It's just really tough with having to deal with a man that plays his music unbelievable. She has to call the cops every weekend. And you shouldn't have to, but I mean, she does a lot. She has to
Right.
call in a lot, and it's very
I encourage,
nerve-wracking.
I encourage getting the police involved with everything, because,
Right.
we need to, if this person is
Build a case.
a dangerous person,
Right.
you need to build a case, you need to have,
Well, the
things
one
that
that
back
I home, he had all the doors open on his vehicle in the driveway. Music was as loud as it possibly could be. This was, 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, air was on, so I'm in a closed house, and I can hear.
Yeah.
I take my garbage out to the road, and he's walking around the car and going effing this and effing that and looking at me, and I'm just like, I'm not messing with this. I don't need to be effed at for absolutely no reason. And I know the neighbor across the street had gone over and asked him to turn it down, and he
Neighbor
told,
next to me did
yeah,
too.
and he told him to F off.
And he said
So-
he'd shoot anybody that went into his yard.
I just,
Those are
Well,
the
that's
police
a
just
threat.
We did
Like,
call
you're
the
supposed to
police.
call the police.
We did
That's a
call them,
threat.
and I called them 2 weekends ago because the dogs were in my yard and doing all that, and they, and he was banging on the thing, and, until like 3 o'clock in the morning, the dogs were, you know what I'm saying? It's, we won't do anything we wanna keep the dog, we don't want anything to happen. But the pound has come and picked the dog up and everything, it's just been very aggravating. And right before we left, I thought he really would show up. His music, he was blaring it when we left, as loud as he could, and then all of a sudden he just kept it, and he looks down the street to see if anybody's looking at him, because he's got his music blaring again, and then he turns it off, then he does it again. It's like just enough to get people aggravated, but he's gonna turn it off so the cops don't come. And I know you guys he just thinks he does not have to do what is done, everybody else has to do.
Do your best to try to give us some patience with this, don't let things escalate over there, call the cops when
Oh, we
you need to
do.
call the cops, most definitely, especially if it's, disturbing the peace and stuff like that, so.
yeah, and this was 10:30 at night.
Yeah, it's
when I
not like,
did this.
Yeah, and that's unacceptable, 100% unacceptable.
And then after 30 minutes, he turned it back up.
Yeah.
Called him again.
the police came after again, he said she had to do it again.
Wow.
And she's, it's just not.
I think there's a city ordinance too, that
Yeah, there it
no
is.
loud music, they can go towards, against the city, or you can go to the city and tell.
So it's not, it's city ordinance in every city, and there's a certain decibel level, but I think they do this, like, if they go to your house and in your driveway or in your house or whatever, if they can hear it, then they deem that as a problem, and they go charge the person. But I'm not sure if that.
Oh, they're great, the cops are, they're always really good.
Sorry. More than my peripheral.
Keep in mind, if he is threatening to shoot somebody for going near his property, wouldn't it be better that if anybody shoots anybody, it be the police shooting instead of someone shooting a neighbor? That's why it's always best.
He didn't say that to me.
He didn't say it to, he said it to her.
He said it in a letter to someone.
Yes.
Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah, he said it
To
to.
the army guy that lives next
Still,
to me.
Oh, I'm not looking to the police.
No, we're not, we don't get face to face with them or whatever.
Yeah, it would be better for the police to handle it, so if you call them 30 times, that's 30 times that, it's been notated, then we can pull those records and use that if this goes to court.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
so
we're
just
gonna,
keep
we're
that,
gonna, yeah,
don't put yourself in danger,
no, not at all.
because you know his attitude and his personality.
I also have a question about paint colors, what people can paint their houses. Is there a rule, are
So-
they different?
We don't have a color wheel, we don't have a scheme or a theme that we're looking to meet. When somebody wants to paint their house, they send us the colors, and I ask them to send us the description, like whatever paint company it is and the number of that, I ask them to send us that as well, so we can look it up and see what the colors look like. So there's not, it's a case by case thing with what we do. And it goes in front of the ACC committee of 7 on the committee.
7.
It goes in front of 7 sets of eyes, and they either say that, okay, that's good, or okay, that's not good.
Does it stay with, basically our neighborhood's on neutral, is what I would call,
Like earth tones,
Yeah.
kind of thing, yeah.
what if it's not? What if I wanna paint my house, red?
So again, it's something, because some reds look good, right? But if you want
Christmas
to,
red?
well, or Christmas red, or ocean yellow, or, you want to paint your house like a candy cane or something
So
like that.
you would allow that?
No, I'm saying, so, I'm just one, and actually, I'm not even one voice. So the ACC
There's
committee,
7, and the majority would be the ones, whether they said yes or they said no, it's majority, of those 7. Which would determine whether we approved or not.
If I show you, a color of my neighbor's house that's being painted right now, can you tell me if you approved it?
can you tell me the address?
346.
I think it's 47.
He's on my side. On this street, going out from my house.
347 is,
That's Tiku's.
yeah.
Orange, that orange shirt.
346.
Are you ready? I have 6.
Yeah, we do.
They were approved for color for painting, but they did not include a cell.
They may have.
Ginny wants to look up the colors.
I looked up those colors, remember it was
It
the,
would be Sherwin-Williams 6965.
all right.
She has a picture of it, if you want to see it. We'll match it, he's gonna flip the color. I believe it wasn't blue.
Mm-hmm.
6965.
It doesn't blend, it stands out.
Sorry. Gotta wait for it to pull up.
Or something really
She's
outlandish.
showing a picture of blue.
She's just worried about the aesthetics of the street as it goes across. She's not really saying as an individual that the house color is not that bad.
But colors that you may not like, maybe
That's right.
colors that
Yeah,
others
but
do.
it's,
Yeah.
I like the color, but not on the house. Not to go with the neighborhood. That's how, I mean.
And when you walk down the street, it just goes bam, and hits you right in the face.
If you went up the hill from here, the pea green,
I know.
I do not like that.
I don't like that color either,
But it looks good.
but it's kind of, it's not like that.
You said 6965 is the line,
6965 is the box.
6788.
It looks like 6788, yes. And it was
Any good, Jim?
It was approved, I can see it.
Yeah, good, good.
Uh,
I remember.
It's like one house going down.
So with those colors, when they send in an alteration application, those
Yeah, orange
colors,
shutters with the dark gray house, yeah.
the board or the committee looks them up to see. The problem is that
You know,
that might not be, is that, did you look at that, like, is that color blue the same color that
I wanna
they?
go orange.
He
I wanna
looked
go
it up.
blue and orange.
Yeah.
I looked them up.
He looked it up.
Yeah.
And
But you know
rather
what,
the rest of the
sometimes
board looked it
the
up.
color and the
No, I know.
colors,
He looked it up and I saw it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of, like, different,
I have a blue car.
I know blue, don't get me wrong, I know blue.
I'm just not a fan of, like, I don't like it when they paint their garage door color that doesn't
but
clash.
we're playing
You know what I'm
team up
saying?
north.
Like,
Connection wise in here is terrible.
Yeah, they're, yeah. I find it interesting.
different colors.
Ohio State.
Oh,
Playing team up
It clashes, keep up, it just doesn't,
Yes.
for me, it just doesn't.
That's all pink.
Yes.
red and blue.
I don't like big work. But I
Again,
mean, it
like I
may
said-
not, it may not be color I like, but
It's not as bold.
I mean, I didn't think the dark gray with the orange shutters was gonna look good when that was approved.
I'm sorry, I just-
I think it looks okay, if that's what they want, you know?
If he wants to,
Well, that's
you know,
another thing.
make a
Can you
main
just
row on the
look
outside of
at
the
me
house, I
and
mean, that
a
would
different
be
color?
unacceptable.
Then,
No,
But still,
like I said, everything has to
Yes.
come through the
just
ACC.
the neighbor that we are blessing right now, his door is painted, not anything like, it's really the color of his house. And that's why I think, you know, maybe house.
Yeah, yeah,
So you also have to keep in mind, everybody owns their home. They're the ones that pays the mortgage, they're the ones that pay.
I know, but isn't that what our,
And we've never had a color coding of any sort. If you look like further into like Miami, like from each side, you've got turquoises, you've got peaches, you've got various blues. That blue would be a beachside blue to me, as like a cabana blue, you know, like a cabana blue, yeah.
Well, now it feels like,
Yeah.
without a house.
No, that's not what I would say. It rhymes with it, but you know.
So this is the type of discussion that I'm talking about for the good of the community, okay? That way everybody gets whatever is on their chest, they have a chance to speak about it. And that we're not stuck with just agenda items.
Just no flamingos, right?
Just no flamingos. I like flamingos. I like flamingos and.
Can we do the
uh,
Christmas
well,
one?
it's-
It's on their street too.
can we do the Christmas one? Make our Christmas one?
You
I'm
don't
gonna
have a big thing about Christmas decorations.
Yeah, we can put whatever we
No,
want.
that's kind of a blanket thing from, I wanna say what to say, like after Thanksgiving and then. they have
After
to be
Thanksgiving till like, I think it's
Actually done by
January
15th.
15th
Yes.
or something
Oh,
like that.
15th.
Yeah,
It's
any
after
other time, you're supposed to
Christmas,
send in
right?
an alteration application
Yeah.
for the specific
I can
decoration.
start putting my stuff up.
Christmas stuff?
Yeah, that's already, I got $14.
So since we're on, good of community topic, I want to address the tribunal. I was trying to think of,
So in order to put up Christmas decorations, you need to apply.
no,
No.
any other decoration you can just not for Christmas. There's, in the book of rules, it says that. It's kind of like,
Well, we haven't done
Unless you're my neighbor.
Halloween decorations, we haven't done, usually the holidays, they put it up and down a couple days.
yeah.
But permanent decorations, like a seasonal, something like that, like springtime, like a fall. Yeah, something's gonna stay.
They're gonna bounce to me,
That's, we do require.
One of these nice
Yeah,
children,
ornament
like,
decorations.
Chevy's guys out there, we just on the pilot,
So to address the one member of the tribunal, I was trying to think of the singular version of tribunal, but I couldn't.
It's called tribunal.
No, it's not.
It's not school.
So, but,
Oh, plural,
But
but
tribunals,
tribunals.
we party,
will
right?
not be tribunal. Right. All right, so to address the tribunal, we have 12 people that were sent fines and fees, so you should be hearing soon from them. That's- you guys, you know about the tribunal, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
It's the people. Yes.
Okay. Now she does.
So we'll be receiving emails.
So, yeah, I will, as soon as we get any of those forms back, so sometimes people just ignore it, and they don't address it. And that's what's going on with a couple of them, but we send them certified mail regardless. Sometimes we don't pick them up, sometimes they just leave them in the post office and we get them back. So, eventually, you'll be getting emails. And then you'll have to set up the meeting.
Sure.
And that'll be
You got enough people there doing that now?
the tribunal, yeah, we have a new tribunal of 3,
Okay, good.
right? So, do you guys remember Scott? He would come here with his wife all the time. His
Yes.
wife recently passed away, he's on the tribunal, along with this fine gentleman here, and,
Okay.
don't tell me, it's, Jessica. You guys don't know, but I deserve a high five.
Hope I never get the
Hey, Mark.
I forgot.
Don't remember.
No, that's your.
Mine is the birds, but just call me Tony Mark.
Yeah.
Tony.
Tony, yeah.
What's up, Tony?
Yeah, Jessica.
Bobby, who's the one that fell off this ladder?
Eric.
Eric, who's on the board.
You come be here
No,
too?
no, he was on the board, he used to be on the board. No, he fell off his ladder and broke his arm.
I gotta bring one of these home for my granddaughter.
When that happened, I don't know if she-
I saw him when we were voting, he was with his wife from behind, and they said that,
She's living out.
2 days ahead of time, he was like,
surgery and everything on
Oh,
his hand. He
oh.
fell off and he broke his wrist and broke,
Yeah,
he had his.
he was trimming a
hand
palm
up to
tree.
his elbow. Trimming a palm tree. He also had a bump on his head.
Yeah,
He
he-
stitches,
Yeah, he was in bad shape when I saw him. Yeah.
All right, does anybody have anything else, for the good of the community? Anybody? Nobody wants to recognize anybody's birthdays that might have just passed?
Happy anniversary to Bobby.
Oh, yeah.
That was a while.
9 years.
How many years?
9.
I think 40.
I won't be alive.
I'm 50.
I said that too.
I'm 50.
I know, as of when?
I'm 50 years old.
As of when?
That's a win.
October 17th. But I have my birthday party Saturday.
Right. That's what I was trying to lead you, Heather.
Hint.
Well, with that note, Brenda turned 55 in September.
Congratulations, Brenda.
Thank you. Denny's menu, yes. Yay.
September, what is your birthday?
Mine, the ninth.
Mine's the 5th, I just turned 61.
I like this much better than my class.
Well, and I will say this, it hasn't come yet, but as of December the 18th, Brenda and I will have been married for 25 years. The longest I've ever, oh my God.
If he asked again, I'm liable to say no.
And if she said yes, I'd go and run.
You're lucky you're alive then.
I count my blessings every morning when I stand up, because I know she'd say, oh, I was safe that night.
Yeah, we have to deal with it. I've been with someone for 40 years. See how good it is.
I did, my mother.
Huh?
We won't be alive
Yeah,
for that.
I didn't think I was, and I lived this long, so.
Yeah, this doesn't sound familiar.
All right, does anybody else have anything for the good of the community? Okay, then I'm looking for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I say,
All in favor?
aye.
All right, consider this meeting adjourned at 7:08 PM.